Thank you for joining me again for session number 2 for this Google Certified Educator Level 1 training. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight to today's various topics and things I want to discuss because there's just so much I want to cover, and I realized that I crammed so much into it. But then I thought of it, what's the best way of checking on someone's understanding by giving them tasks? So I have tasks for you if you decide on um, utilizing that particular feature. Okay, so once again, I am still going for the same key objectives of the training, and as stated, they should support various needs and skills of the level that you're at. So um, I also want to encourage you to incorporate G Suite for Education applications because that's what I do every day, and that's what assisted me with passing the Google Educator Level 1 certification. All right, so the agenda for last week was for us to go ahead to do the skill overview, and I gave you the skill checklist. So we completed that. We talked about pacing. I gave you some things that you should know before we come back today for this session. And then I had a wonderful conversation with someone on Friday, and I know it's not really pre-announced, but I know better this time. And hopefully I get to see or hear more people tomorrow for the sharing and caring of us as a team. Okay. Let's see. I want to make sure that I go ahead and cover Google search and make sure that we're looking at Google Plus, the Google Groups for a second. And I didn't include bookmarking a page. If you need assistance with that, I'll be glad to help you. Um, I completed that and I have some videos for you coming along. And I will cut out for a second so you can see what I'm talking about. As I mentioned previously, I wanted to touch on several different things that would benefit you to prepare for the assessment. And Google Plus was one of the ones I mentioned on my agenda. It is definitely in the on the skills checklist for you to be able to clearly understand how to use Google Plus and of course join. And I even have it on my personal checklist for the pacing. So I'm going to my drive and I click on Google Plus. I've already been in Google Plus several times, so of course mine will look different than yours. Yours will be completely blank if this is your first time ever going to Google Plus, and there will be some prompts that will guide you through creating your profile, a little more detail, and I just recently did that. And the next thing that will pop up is find people. That's what the general setting is when you first come in there. You have a chance to take a look at the people that are part of your community already. Well, more so of the the district. So for us, it would be the district, but of course, we can also look for people outside in other communities. I was able to find these lovely ladies from our forum and our group that is working towards the level 1 certification. Here is one of my coworkers, and I thought it was a great idea. Of course, no one's following me because I hadn't really made any effort in creating a community. There's some features that are no longer in existence because Gmail used to have Google Plus. Now, personal accounts will not be able to create Google Plus, so that feature is gone. And if you are interested in it, you'll definitely have to use the Google Plus that is available through our district platform. So we're going to home, and this is just basic information I want you to be aware of. if you're making a comment and you want to tag someone in the comment, no different than any other social media, you, in place of adding the at symbol, you add plus. So at this point in time, it's plus, and then you pick the person. And since I have newfound friends on here from the forum, I just chose someone, and I'm going to test, post, and if you feel like this is an error or you want to make some adjustments or you just want to cancel it, first of all, to edit, just click edit. You can make your changes, update, and the person that you tag received their changes. Then, of course, in this case, I need to go ahead and delete the comment. So that's definitely something that you need to do. So that'll be task number 2. So first of all, I need you to find me. The second thing, I need you to tag me in a post. Then we are going to show this really quick. Private message. It's no different than any other platform, except now it looks like I'm about to make a post, which is pretty simple, but I'm going to create a private message by tagging someone. And once you type your message, in place of just posting, you will change this to disable reshare. So that at this point in time is a message just for this person. So the 3 dots, disable reshares. Once you choose that, you post, but I'm not going to do that, but you're aware. So I will cancel this. Discard. I want to show you one more thing that I found interesting. I went to the communities and I searched for G Suite for education. And there's so many different options. I've already attempted to request following various organizations just because they seem very interesting, wonderful networking platform. And the one in particular, let's see if I can find it, is so eluding. See, that's my timer because I said I did not want to focus too long on this one particular topic, and I cannot find it just because I wanted to find it and show you. Okay, let me see like this. Okay, let me try one more thing. I think I remember this connected classroom. Hopefully that is it. And I think this particular, I've looked and looked and looked, and it does not want me to find it. There are various different resources you can use, and Connected Classroom was one of the ones that, in particular, invited teachers to, let me take this off, to go ahead and connect with lessons and various, oh, is this it? Okay, wonderful. And it's not a really big community, but I felt it was something worthwhile taking a look at, especially if you're interested in possibly working with elementary school teachers that are inviting for someone to come out and do a mystery hangout or something similar to that. Okay, so I'm over my time on Google Plus, but that's just what I want to share. I was really excited about that, and we'll be moving along to the next topic. All right, the next portion of the planning party is Google Groups. So really just briefly a reminder that Google Groups is not available from within the school district. So make sure you utilize this from home or wherever you are able to access. And it's part of the skills, and I mentioned it in the level 1 foundations of my pacing guide. So let's go straight to groups. I have it open. Let me close it out and just make sure that I'm showing you the correct way if you're not familiar. I'm going to find Google Groups. It's this one right here. And as it opens, the very first thing that you will see is create group. Very first thing. So the task for you on this particular section is for you to create a group, add me, Sonia Hartley, and add my group. So really quickly, find a name, Happy People 2020. I had to find something that was very, very general and brand new because these email addresses fill up fairly quickly. Once you're trying to add something with Google or something that's very on topic, it will be hard. You can go ahead and give a description. Keep in mind that these particular groups have visibility levels just for members or anyone on the web. So keep that in mind as you create. And the topics that members could view. The other thing is make sure, oh, here it is. Make sure what type of group you're creating. Is it an email list? It's a web forum, a Q&A forum, or a collaborative inbox. So there's all these options, and I'm not going to get into detail because I want to make sure that I'm moving along. So I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to the group that I've created, and I've posted. No, as a matter of fact, I will post. Let me notate that I'll repost this group link. As I mentioned, you're supposed to add me, and here is the one that I created. I am part of the Georgia Educator group, and feel free to find that one and become part of a great community where many share at different levels. There's some innovators and trainers in there, and many they're level one or haven't been. They're still in the process. Well, anyway, this is the one that I created for us for our forum, and it has various links. I can create new topics, and I'm able to manage the group. So just to look at the members, I'm excited because people found me already. So that's very reassuring. The managing the group tab gives you more liberties to make changes and managing the members. And I know if April gets notifications for this, I've switched her from being manager to owner, and just for the so you can see what I'm doing, I'm switching her back to manager, and I might switch her back to owner, but it updates immediately, and these are the roles that are available. So this is basically it. It's nothing really too elaborate. Of course, like I mentioned, you can post topics. It's various ways to use canned responses, just like in Gmail. You can add links, you can add media. It's very similar to all of some of the other platforms that are available. It just has a more so of a forum purpose. So I'm going to discard that, and we'll be moving on to the next topic. All right, the next one will be Google search, and I'm going to go ahead and time myself because I know I have to learn how to pace myself, no different than someone that's preparing for the assessment. Hint, hint. So timing is important because you will need every moment of your assessment time that's allotted to you. So I'm going to search for school supplies, not just supplies, school supplies. And once I have my search results up, I will show you a couple of different things. One of them would make sure that in settings, you are actually searching in a safe mode. So mine's already turned on, so I'm going to turn it off, and then I'll turn it back on. Oops. And you're searching in safe search, so you know where that's at. I am now making sure that I can utilize all of my tools in a web search. So these are my web search tools. All of them are available. Make sure that you know where they're located. And sometimes shopping is an option. I don't see that right now. School supplies and not shopping. That's ironic. Okay. And since we're looking at images, I'll go ahead and cover images, and we're going into tools. And here are various options for you to be able to um, change your search criteria. Let's so some yellow. Change a lot to yellow options. The type, click art, the time, and you can utilize that as well. And the probably most important is having your usage rights. And mostly if you need to go ahead and use the one that you're able to use for reuse, labeled for reuse. And oftentimes those are more limited, not always what you're looking for, but that's basically it. Now, let me come back out of this and click on the feature called reverse image search. So I'm just going to see what's on my drive. I mean, not on my drive, in my downloads. Oh, so many different things. Oh, wow. Oh, longitude, latitude. See where I found that. And it's giving the search that I had at that moment and some other similar images. So you know how to do the reverse image search, and you can do that also with the URL of the image, as I showed you earlier. Let me show you again. See, right here's the URL. Then let's see, one more that is very important, you being able to set your search as a default on Google. So we're going to the three dot icon, we're clicking on settings, and like I said, if I go too fast, make sure that you rewind. And I have so much more, but I limit myself to a certain time allotment, and I'm almost there. So here's the search engine area. You can set the address bar on default for Google. Mine already is, and there's others available. And the same thing for the search engine itself. Okay, let me show you one last one. And this is the one I'm most excited about. I'll clear that out. And this one in particular, this is a way to refine your search. And I'm just going to type in refine to be more precise. Search operator. There we go. And I'm just going to show you, that way you don't really see my timer's gone off. I have a couple of seconds left to talk. And I will click on the refine web search, and it's a support Google section, so you know it is valid. And these are some of the various refined image search techniques. So this is something that I would like for you to just play with as you are entering these specific like where we have one, for example, minus. If you put minus in front of a word, then it automatically leaves that out. And here's the example. If you're looking for the speed of a Jaguar, the actual Jaguar, not the car, you will, within your search engine, you would actually enter Jaguar speed and minus the car. So we'll look for everything And I'll just go ahead and utilize that. It will search for, oh, here we go. It'll search for everything without the car. And it gives you information, and it still pulled up the car, ironically. Well. Okay, let me go back. This is what happens when you utilize what's available, but you basically get the gist of what I'm showing you. So Twitter, being able to search for prices, all these various techniques. Remember, look for refined web searches, or you can look for search operators. So that was the last of that. And like I mentioned, I have so many more notes. I write everything in notes so I can always refer back to it when I need it, not just particularly for taking an assessment, but when I need to use them. So the more you use them, the more likely to remember. All right, and I'll come back in a few minutes and I'll cover the next section. We are in Google Drive. So this is my Google Drive. It is not the most organized, but it works for me at the moment. I'm still restructuring, so each individual person may have a different way of organizing their Google Drive. The key is to find organization. So it doesn't matter how, but as long as you're able to find without having to search forever. And just in case you weren't aware, in Google Drive, if you have this drop down, you can, of course, search by type, by ownership, location, of course, and key terms. But you're probably already familiar with that. If not, if you need more information, I'll be glad to give you more. Now, I had to make sure that I focused on those things that I felt like would benefit those that were interested in possibly completing tasks to see where their level, their skill set is at. Not too hard, not too easy, possibly time yourself as you complete the task if you decide on moving forward with that, and share with us how long it took you. Maybe we can compare, maybe we can find quicker ways. That's one thing about the tasks that you're assigned within the assessment. And let me go ahead and move to the task list. The task, it doesn't particularly tell you how to get it complete, but they want you to complete it. So if you complete the task correctly, the end result will be the same. So I have task number 1 with its focus on Google Plus, and I mentioned that in the video section about Google Plus that I will ask you to complete a task to go along with this. Task number 2 has a focus on Google Groups, and just remember that Google Groups you would have to work on when you're at home to be able to follow through with that. Task number 3 has a focus on Google search, and I just did a quick little fun activity for that. And the big kahuna is task 4. So task 4 actually has several components, and the materials that you need to follow through with all the various activities are attached to Google Classroom. And I think that is, no, my Google Classroom is right here. And I'm not clicking on it. Okay, here we go. And I put it in, well, I hadn't put it in draft, but I'm going to upload in a few minutes and include this video. So returning back to the task list, task number 4 has the beginning in this Google Doc. And this Google Doc will give you various steps of things to complete and to share with people or me. So if necessary, I can go back and see were you able to complete each task. It's ranging from within this Google Doc to inserting a YouTube video and giving a description, Google Sheets, which is right here. And I've included some data in here already. It's not school related. I didn't want to include anything that had anything to do with students' names attached to it, but there are tasks attached to Google Sheets. Then I included a task for Google Slides, and it's blank, but I want you to follow through and do certain things with that. Then the next one I think is Google Drawing. Google Drawing is right here, is blank as well, but I have something for you to do with it. And last but not least, we're going back to Google Doc and something that involves Google Classroom. The Google Classroom section, I think most of us educators are fairly familiar with. I'm part of a beta group, and I think I mentioned this before, and sometimes they introduce certain things that are involved um, in just Google overall, G Suite overall. But if necessary, I can also attach the link to be able to apply to be part of this beta task force that basically, I guess my mind is on tasks that allows for you to have an opinion and give feedback and possibly see some of the newer updates. So last but not least, there is a Google form in Google Classroom that will give you an opportunity to submit the various artifacts from the task list that you can share with me so we can see if you're able to follow through. So this may not look exactly like the assessment. None of these activities are copied from the assessment because that would not be what's the word I'm looking for? That Google is very specific that you do not share any of the test information or anything similar to it. But of course, we can practice, practice, practice. So let me go back to my presentation, and there's my cube. And I love inserting GIFs, if that's what the students call it. And we covered Google Plus, Google Groups, Google Search, and I, to my best ability, wanted to cover what we are working on during session number 2. The bringing the students work online, I feel like if you are able to complete all those tasks within the quick tips for Google Plus groups and search, it would allow the students, if they are to research for a project, that's something that would basically will cover for them to work online and including it within Google Classroom and sharing with others would also be part of working online. I would say the next time we meet or I give you a video pacing wise, these are the 3 topics that we're covering and we will have to squeeze into 30 minutes. And I do recall sharing the pacing guide, so you can go ahead and click on these various different links. And if you're already familiar with the online training for teachers, I'm sure you've seen these before. Just to refresh your memory, just follow up with that. And I have a follow-up which we should meet tomorrow for a short period of time. I will go ahead and share the link, and it may not be up until close to 5:30. I will try my best to share it before then. It's a commute for me because I cannot stay at the school because they will lock me in the building and tell me to leave. So make sure that you have some questions ready for me. I want to suggest for the following week, and this is an oversight by me, to go ahead instead of going on Hangout on Friday since that's Valentine's. How about meeting that Saturday, 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning? I will take suggestions on that. I want to be as flexible as possible and then just see how many of you decided to go ahead and complete the task list just to see, what the interest is on actually putting some of your knowledge to use, or just to see how long does it take for you to follow through with these various different tasks. And they're fairly simple, but when you're timed and you're asked to do something within a certain time frame, the simpleness it can go away. So this is just something that I came up with that would maybe simulate for you need to see if your pacing is where it needs to be. And don't forget to upload in Google Forms. And last but not least, if you don't already know, and there's various different ways to screenshot with Windows, but this is just the one that I use and it's like second nature to me. Those are the keys that you have to press, which is Windows, Shift, and S. And they'll give you a nice screenshot. I don't know if it'll let me do it while I'm in here. Let me try. Okay. It does. Now, I don't know how this is going to look on the video. This is the first for me. Okay. And it pops up, and that's when when I go ahead and just save it to a specific spot in my screenshots. That was very neat. And that is pretty much all I have. Oh, let me see how many different screenshots I have. So I do this all the time, especially for things for the students. I've taught my students how to screenshot on their Chromebooks, and they think it's convenient instead of constantly having to figure out a way to download. Now they can screenshot because there's various different things that you probably shouldn't download. All right, and that's all I have for today. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me, and I look forward to chatting with you. If you have any tips, please share, share, share. Add to my knowledge base and to my little note tablet that I have. Well, this is probably tablet number 3, and I would love to learn more. And thank you again for your interest. Thank you again for watching. And make sure that you give me feedback for session 2.